We are now on the exciting part of this project, which is coloring. So the base color has dried up. I painted the inside and I gave it a second uh, application. So I have here on my desk, let me show you the paints I'm going to use. I have a jar of water, uh, a rag. I have some brown and bronze paint for the barrel, the greens for the leaves, the blues and the purples, and this is wine, pearl wine. They are pearl paints for the grapes. I have some pearl paints too, fabric paints, purple and green, which I might use if I would like to add some shine to the grapes. And also I have some golds and silvers and there's this bronze and copper. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is first I'm going to color the 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 one at the bottom, the barrel. Okay, so of course the color there is brown. You can use any tube paint. Let's see if this is still okay. I have some tube paint. An aunt gave me some Reeves tube paint before. Okay, it still has. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what you call a dry brush technique. Okay, so let me get a brush. Okay, so you get some of the paint. My dog is barking again because someone's passing in front of the house. And then you apply brown to the part that's going to look like the barrel. Okay. If there are smudges, it's okay. Okay? Because later on you can do some retouching using black paint. So here's the brown part. Okay. I'm painting the barrel part brown. Some of the brown paint has touched the grapes and the leaves. That's fine because anyway I'll be covering it later with uh, their colors. Okay, let's use this thicker brush so it will be faster, to make it faster. Okay, so there I'm applying brown. It's okay if there are some smudges on this black part because I have black paint that I can do, which I can use for the retouchings later. Okay. So sometimes the first coat would be a bit light, so you have to let it dry, and then once you apply the second coat, there you can see the color. The color would look much better. So there's the barrel. The space in between the barrel would remain black. That's the reason why I used the black paint as base color, because that's my intention, to let those spaces in between the black lines to be clear. Okay. Now if you don't have Reeves or any acrylic paint in tube, you can use a paint like this one I got from the paint center. You can use this. I hope I still have enough paint here because this is just leftovers. So there, I still have some. This is one of the best brands artists use. Even if you go to the bookstore, they do recommend this brand, Reeves. You can use others if you're used to some of them. I'm not much into painting. Some people are really into painting and they know other brands of paint. My brother, who studied fine arts, has used some brands names like Grumbacher, but I think they are oil paints. But I would hear those brands from him. Okay, so there. So I have my electric fan on so that it would be easy to dry. By the way, regarding the epoxy, when you use the epoxy, make sure to mix equal parts of epoxy A and epoxy B. Too much epoxy A would make it too, too soft, and it would take a long time to dry. Too much epoxy B, it's okay, but it might dry up too soon. Okay, so by practice, you are going to see, you are going to know how much it comes by practice. It comes with practice, by the way. Okay. So the popsicle stick has absorbed some of the brown paint. Okay. But anyway, aside from the brown paint, I'm going to use later. I'm going to use what do you call this? Uh, Copper to give it an antique look. Okay. Okay. Let's finish. Let's empty this. I think maybe I need to buy a bigger tube like this. This came in a set of, I think, 15 or 12 paints or 20 colors, but you can buy them in bigger sizes, bigger tubes. Okay. You can paint it like this, not vertically but horizontally, so that you won't be coloring the space in between the popsicle sticks. Okay. So it depends on you. Okay, so there. Still the popsicle stick is absorbing. So you might need a few layers to achieve the color that you want. Okay, now the brown is much clearer now. If you don't want, the one I'm using here is burnt sienna. If you want, you can make it lighter by mixing other colors. I have here, what's this? Ochre Amarillo. In some watercolors, they say yellow ochre. There. So there you have colored the the barrel, the wooden part. What appears to be the wooden part of the barrel. Okay. Let's apply a last coat to make it brighter. So the nice thing about this is, if you notice, even the vines, look at the vines, there are black areas. The carved areas would remain black. And that's the reason why I carved the, uh, the vines by pressing applying pressure using tools to give it that gnarled, twisted look. In naturally, grapevines have those twists and what do you call those embedded parts. Okay. Okay. Now after painting it brown, we're going to paint the leaves. Okay, so now I think the brown is enough. It's brown enough for me. It's like 4 or 5 layers because the popsicle sticks absorb the first coat. Okay, now it looks nice. Let's just consume all the paint on the cardboard. Okay, so there it is. Okay, one more. Poco. Okay, so there. Now it looks like wood or something leathery. You like it? I like it. Now let's wash off the paint from my brush and let's start with the green, the leaves. The leaves are easy because I think I made only 5 or 6 or 7 of them. Uh, I added smaller leaves to those empty spaces so that they won't look bare. Okay. So there's another brush. Now let's go with the green. Okay. Now I'm going to use this light green. I have a dark green, but I want the light green more because if you look at pictures of what do you call this grape leaves, they are lighter. So you get some paint on your brush and then you just apply, just run it through, run the brush over the leaves. Make sure don't paint those areas inside. That's the reason why I used the black, so that, okay, so it's just like that. Okay, okay, apply it thinly first. Okay, apply the first coat. If it so happened that the inner part that was painted, it's okay, but just be careful next time. It's okay. Look carefully at those edges. Remember, I showed you how to make those serrated edges on the leaves. So make sure by painting them, you make those areas clear. Okay, so it's a bit light. Okay, I'm going to let that dry while I paint the others so that after painting the others, when I come back here, um, it would have dried already and I'm going to apply the second coat. Okay, so apply color to the leaves. Not much on the vines. The vines, I would let them stay brown because later I'll be adding what do you call this, bronze to them, to make them shiny brown. So there, let me come closer to the camera. Okay, just apply like that, just like that. When you apply it this way, the inner parts, those inner grooves won't be touched by the paint. Okay, so that's the first layer. Okay. Let that dry. For the other leaves, once you color your project part by part, you know, you'll see the beauty of your project more. It's in the painting of the parts that make the color, make this beautiful and more colorful. Now, what colors do you use for the grapes? Of course, we use the purple. We have eaten grapes for sure, and we know the color of grapes. Some come in the reddish, like what do you call this? Red violet. Some in blue violets. Now you might not have those paints in your those colors in your selection of in your tubes of paint, so you can just approximate the color or mix your own to achieve the colors that you want. Sometimes some grapes have a mixture of different colors. You know, those that ripen faster, they have a different color than those that are still new or younger fruits. Okay. Okay. Okay, now I have painted the last one here. So I'm going back to the one I painted first. So that would have its, let's try using another brush. Let's try using this brush here. Okay, so now I'm applying the second coat. So it's turning out to be brighter now. Okay. So look at that. It's brighter. Maybe a third coat would make the colors more, the color more vibrant, much better. Once you apply the other colors like well, the bronze, you have seen the effect in other videos I have made before. Maybe if you want, you can um, color some of the vines just faintly, just very thin application of green to make the vines look a bit mossy. but not too green, because our goal is to make the leaves and the fruits stand out more. Okay. I have made smudges on the brown part. So I'm going to retouch it later with brown paint again. Okay. 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 So all the leaves are much brighter now. I'm on my third round, hence giving it its third coat to make the leaves much brighter. Okay. Okay, there. Painting is fun. Painting things like this is fun, especially when you're the one who made it, who carved or applied or formed the leaves and the grapes, and then you would be seeing how they transform right before your eyes when you apply the paint. Okay. Okay, so I guess all of the leaves have been reached. There it is. Now, I have some remaining, some paint here. I'm going to apply it very, very thinly on the vine. Just very thinly. Not all of it. Okay. Just part of it. Okay. Dry brushing. Oh, the tendrils. Don't forget, let's not forget the tendrils. Okay. The tendrils are usually, greenish. If you miss out the tendrils, you can paint them later on with the pearl green. Okay. 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 If you have applied too much green, you just wipe them off with your fingers. It's okay because you will be covering them up with the bronze. Now let's apply the bronze or the copper for the branches. Okay. And then after that, we'll be painting the grapes. I think I'm going to use, which one? Okay, I'm going to use first copper to give it a reddish color, a deeper tone. And then I'm going to highlight it with, so this is copper, okay? It's darker. And this is bronze, which is lighter, okay? Copper and bronze. So I'm going to use the copper because it has this reddish tone. Okay, there. I'm going to use my thinner brush. Okay, now let's cover. Okay, here I'm applying copper to the the vines. Okay. Not all of it, okay, just part of it. Not the inner part, or not those indented black areas. I want those areas I have carved to remain black. Okay. So here's the copper. To make the grapevine. Did you know that in some countries they use the grapevine as uh, something where they could attach air plants like orchids or tillandsias. Grapevines have this old look. Okay, I'm applying a second coat. Okay, so I have decided to apply a second coat. And then the part where the grapevine is connected to the leaf, this one here, I applied a little um, bronze. The tendrils. So the tendrils I covered a while ago with the green. Now I'm applying a little copper. Now by applying what's this? Copper, you can see the grapevines more. They have this antique look. There's a term I encountered before, an English word, pewter. Pewter refers to those pictures that are copper, and they have this color, the antique look. So what we're doing here is to give our project an antique look. Let's check if we have reached all of the tendrils and the vines. I guess so. Okay, so there. You like it? I like it. I like it. Because that's the way. Okay, now instead of copper, maybe a bronze, why don't I use gold? The gold paint would give it something lighter than the bronze. Okay. A little gold, just a small amount. Okay. Okay, look what the gold is going to do. Okay, there. It lightens up. If it's too dark, the gold will brighten up some areas. Now, do you see now the effect? Remember when I made the vines, I showed you by using toothpick, I carved the vines. Now look at the effect of that. See? By using toothpick or a pointed tool, I was able to achieve this gnarled or twisted look on the grapevines. So I'm applying some gold so that part of it would be bronze and part of it would be gold. If you want, you can apply gold to the edges of the leaves too. It depends on you. Okay. I think this is enough. for me. So now some areas are gold. Now let's go to, uh, I'm going to apply, remember we used copper for the leaves and then I used gold. I'm going to apply bronze to the edges of the leaves. Again, you just, by experience, you study what color would work well. If it doesn't work well, you can cover it up again with another color. It depends on you. Okay, so the leaves now, I'm going to um, put some, okay, now before the gold, I forgot. For the leaves, I would like to apply some pearl green. This one here. Pearl green would give it something uh, different. Just a small amount. You can use this one or this one. Both are pearls, pearl paints. Okay. So for the pearl paint, I'm going to apply it on the surface. Oh, there. Now look at the effect. It made, remember I used dark green, light green. Now with the pearl paint, it makes it light, much lighter. Okay, shinier. Now look at the leaves now. It's different compared to this one. This one doesn't have the pearl paint. This one has, which looks better. This one, right? This one is quite dark. So I'm going to apply a little pearl. This one I bought less than 60 pesos. But the last time I went to the bookstore, it was out of stock. Good thing I have another extra tube. Oh, look at that. It has changed. Now, let's see how this is going to change with the pearl right before your eyes. Okay. Okay, there. Just like, okay, this one too, right before your eyes, it's going to change. It's going to turn lighter. Wow, magic. Okay, there. Let's apply it. Dry brush, just dry brush. Oops, some gold. Anyway, okay, let's cover that up. Anyway, I'm going to apply some gold later. Okay. So there's your great leaves turning brighter with the pearl paint. Okay. Okay, so there it is now. I have achieved the color I want to achieve with the leaves. Now I'm going to apply, as I said, a little bronze just around the edges of the leaves to give it to make the borders distinct, and a little lighter than the copper I used a while ago. Okay, so just on the edges, lightly. Okay, let's see. Okay, lightly on the edges. Okay, so that you could see those jagged or serrated edges. There, you can see the tips of the leaves more clearly. Okay, now look at this leaf compared to this leaf. Okay, it looks nicer just on the edges. Now let's apply the same technique on the other leaves. Okay. Just a little. There. I need some more. And then do we'll paint the grapes next. Okay, so here's that. Okay, I have other leaves here which have not received their touches of bronze. Wipe the excess with your fingers. Okay. See, so now those tips, the serrated parts of the leaves are clearer. You can see them more because without the edges, they won't be evident. You might want to apply a little, light brush in the center to give the center something golden, very light, mixing the green with the gold. Okay, now look at the leaves now. Now let's do the, I know you can almost imagine the colors, okay, of the grapes because that would be the last. No, not really. I'm going to color this part too with silver, and then it's the polishing part that's next. I'm going to use pearl sapphire. Pearl sapphire. I'm going to mix pearl sapphire and pearl sapphire is blue, and later I'm going to mix purple on it. So using pearl sapphire because as I said, some grapes they have a mixture of colors. So for the grapes, I'm going to mix blue and purple and something reddish. Okay. So here's the purple sapphire. I'm applying purple sapphire onto the grapes. Let me dry this up more. Let's just dry brush it. Dry brush, dry brush. Okay. Now you have the grapes. Just the surface, okay? You don't need to paint all of those areas because you can see the spaces in between the black color, the black areas would really tell you where one grape is and where the other is. So let's have this one, something blue here. Later I'm going to make this reddish. It's the fun here is the coloring, the mixing of the paints. When you mix colors and people would see, wow, you blended the colors very well. That's how it is. That's the fun part. Okay. That's the fun part of painting this. So you paint those bulges of the grapes. So next I'm going to apply this pearl purple. Is this pearl? Yeah, pearl. Pearl purple. So there we have the blue. Okay. Now let's add pearl purple. Or let's see if I still have some. What is this? Wine. Wine is more on the red part. This paint here has dried up a bit. It has been with me quite longer than the others. This is one of my first paints, and then later on, uh, the ones I use the most are the 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 golds. So I have been buying new tubes of gold and copper and bronze, but this one here, not much. I'm going to moisten it. Let's see if it will still work. If not, it's okay. I guess it won't work anymore. Let's just use the purple. Maybe I should tell my brother. My brother will be arriving in 3 weeks from Manila. Maybe I should tell him to buy me some metallic red. Okay. Now, let's add purple to the grapes and let's see how it's going to work. Okay, there. I'm mixing the purple. Some areas are purple, okay? Not all of it, because in grapes, some ripen faster than the others. Usually the ones on the top are the ones that ripen first. Okay. So I'm not going to paint all of it purple because it would defeat the if I would be painting them all purple, I shouldn't have painted them blue in the first place, right? So it's just some accents, a little bit, just some purple areas. Okay. And then, as I usually do, I'm going to use some bronze again to give the grapes an antique look. Okay. So there you have the grapes. They are a mixture of purple and blue. Okay. Now let me wash my brush. Wash the brush. Okay, dry it with my rag. This is an old t-shirt, an old undershirt. So now I'm going to highlight it with, let's see, let's use gold, okay? I'm going to use gold so that it would be different from the copper branches. Let's use gold. Dry brush. If it works well, then that's good. If not, I can change color. Okay, just a few touches of gold. Okay, okay, so there. If you're not satisfied with the gold, maybe you can add a little. Okay, look at that. It's a purplish gold now. Let's add some gold. I'm adding some gold to some of the grapes, like they were touched by the sunlight. Okay. There they are. If I'm not satisfied and I still want maybe some bronze, I can. Bronze or copper. Let's try copper to give just some areas a reddish tone, just some. Okay, not all of it, just some of the areas. Okay, there. Just some. Okay, just some. Okay. So there we have it. Now, if there are some smudges that you want to cover, you can cover them with brown. However, what I'm going to do now is, remember there are smudges around the green. I'm going to add a thin amount of gold, just a thin amount. Okay. Okay. Now, now I'm going to apply a thin amount of gold on the wooden part, the popsicle sticks, because while doing it, I have seen something nice. Just dry brush it. Okay, it's the edges. Apply. Okay, look at that now. Look at this area. I'm applying some gold on the edges of the popsicle sticks, giving it the distinction between the spaces. Okay, okay, just dry brush so as not to overdo. Okay, some portions, maybe the upper part and the lower part, to give it that antique look. Next, I'm going to add silver to the nails of the barrel. Remember, I used some glass beads when I decorated the black band. So I'm going to paint it with silver, highlight the band with silver. Okay. Now with this touches of gold, you can see clearly, and look, it has this shiny antique finish. Now let's work on this part, the black part. For the black part, I am going to use silver. Where's my silver? Silver, silver. Okay, there you are. Because I want the nails, the beads would appear to be nails. I would like the nails to uh, be clear. Okay, I'm painting the glass beads now. Okay, to make them look like nails. Just light touches. Maybe on the edges also. Apply silver on the edges of this one. Okay. I'm applying silver here on the edges here. Okay. And also at the bottom part. Okay. And in so doing, I'm able to paint the beads a bit, making them look like nails. If you have a thinner brush, it would be much better. I don't have a thinner brush though, but still I'm able to achieve what I want. Okay, so applying the silver makes the black band look metallic, a little bit silvery, and then applying paint onto those beads would make them appear to be nails, like nails. Okay. Okay. So there. I applied silver here, right? I'm going to apply silver also on the lower part. Oh, I'm looking at the timer. of my cell phone. We're now 50 minutes. This video is 50 minutes long already. I guess it will be an hour. So I'll finish this off at the bottom, edging it, edging the black part with silver to make it stand out, different color from the parts that have been highlighted with bronze. And also apply light silver onto those beads to make them look like nails or rivets. Okay. So there you have it. It's almost done. Okay. So if you want, you can color the underside too. So there you have the finished product. Now actually it's not done yet until I spray paint. So let's apply some of the remaining paints I have. I'm going to apply them at the base to give the base an antique look too, you know, so that it won't appear to have been neglected, and to not waste the paint. Okay, so as not to waste the paint, I'll be using the bronze here and inside. Now the last part is spraying this with clear acrylic paint. I'm not going to show it anymore to you because I'm going to let this dry. And the way to apply the clear acrylic paint is the same way you apply the same way you apply when I showed you how to apply the black base color, okay, in the video before this. So it's just like that. So here it is. Hope you like it. I'm going to pause the video now, and I'm going to use this one. Okay, I'm going to cover the name. It's clear lacquer. Okay, you can use this one, clear lacquer. It would give this a shinier finish. Okay, so see you later. By the way, if you don't like a shiny finish, you have this like matte, M-A-T-T-E, matte and semi-matte. When it's matte, it would dry up just like this, but it's protected because of the layer of the clear paint. But if you want it glossy, you could go for the semi-matte, or this one here is the glossy one. Sometimes it's not indicated if it's glossy. You just ask the one in the hardware if the paint would come out as glossy. So look at that. I'm going to spray paint it. And when I return, I'll show you the finished product. Okay?